Good afternoon. Today is the 11th of October and it's time for yet another very vague, quite boring and probably not very interesting vlog. So something that a lot of people have been saying for quite a while now is that insurance premiums for cars are really on the rise at the moment. And when I got my renewal, both the Tivoli and the Mercedes, if we still actually had it, which we don't, were due for renewal on the 28th of October. I was wondering what to do about the Mercedes insurance, because when you get to, I think it's 6 months into a policy, you normally can't get any of the money back for that particular year. If you cancel it, you don't get your money back. And so I was wondering what to do about it, which is why I'd sort of left Mercedes kind of as it was, even though we didn't have the car, which I'm sure is probably not the best thing to do, but we just sort of left it. And I thought, okay, well, it can't go up that much. I mean, you know, I've got a very clean driving record, praise the Lord. We've got no points, we've got no accidents or anything like that. I don't think on my thing ever. There's a couple of incidents, which is like, you know, having the windscreen filled in like 2011 or something like that. Stuff like that, but that's years ago, and it doesn't really that very much. But I looked at the price for the Sanyong, and it said last year's price £427. This year's price £605. I'm like, what? Like, nothing's actually changed on the policy at all, with same occupations and things like that. We've got the same two people, and yeah, nothing's really sort of changed in terms of the Sanyong. Mercedes, we switched off for the Rover back in April because we had to switch for car insurance and the ownership of the Mercedes into my name when we realised my mother wasn't ever going to drive it again, because we realised that actually the Rover, which was over 20 years old at that point, would never be insured on with our provider again, because they don't insure cars over 20 years old. So what we decided to do was take it off, put the Mercedes on in its place, and buy a new policy for the Rover, which we did. Fortunately, my mother actually agreed to pay for that policy, which was nice of her. So we sort of, we had something that was paid for. The problem is with that, it was a brand new policy. I had no claims to put on there because the no claims that my mother had built up over something like 25 years, totally invalid, because, well, the car's changed ownership. She's never going to drive again. And I didn't on her insurance actually gain any no claims bonuses, just a named driver. I've been a named driver on this policy since about 2008 or something like that, but I didn't get any no claims for that. So we had to start a new policy entirely for the Rover. And then when we came to buy the Volvo S40, we switched it onto that policy, which was, I think, 1st of August. We switched it onto this car. And again, that cost a bit of money, but we're like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. This is a 2.4 rather than a 2 litre. Whatever. That's not that important. So we had the Tivoli and the Mercedes on there. Those policies actually expired on the 28th of October, and the Tivoli had said 427 to 605. Mercedes was like 257 to 515 or something, 525. I was like, that is absolutely, utterly outrageous. Like, what on earth has happened to cause these to go up so much? This is insane. Yeah, it's it's not like we've made loads of claims or anything like that, and nice clean driving history for both of us, and neither of us are in very high risk occupations or anything like that. When I do my insurance, the nearest thing on there is a transport consultant or transport manager, because I'm not actually a motor trader. I don't actually trade cars. It might be strange, but I don't trade cars. I don't buy cars and sell cars for stock or anything like that. I don't have trade plates, so I don't need anything like that. The nearest thing on insurance I can find is transport consultant or manager, road transport. That's what I do. I've explained this to so many insurance companies, and that's just what they say to do, which is what I do, because I don't operate as a motor trader or dealer or anything like that, or a mechanic or something like that. I don't. So that's what I've sort of had to do in terms of the occupation, which is very strange. So from that point of view, yeah, that's just what I personally do, to sort of try to get them to understand what actually it is that my profession is, and take their life. It isn't. A lot of you will probably be like this, trying to work out what you tell your insurance company. You're not lying at all. You're not lying. You explain to them, and they're like, well, okay, we're going to put you down as this, because it's not something that necessarily fits particularly easily into the database that they've come up with. So that's okay. But I realised actually I'd always no claims bonus on the Mercedes, because I'd built it up for years on various cars, culminating in the 45 V6, which you'd sold and switched to the Volvo. So the policy that I had didn't have any no claims on it for the Volvo at all, whereas we had this Mercedes policy we didn't need. We thought we were going to maybe buy another car and actually move that onto the Mercedes policy, but we haven't ended up doing that, because we've basically had a look at things, my lady wife and I, and we've realised that at the moment we don't really need an additional car. We don't really need one, and that's one of the reasons why we sold the Mercedes as well, because we didn't really need it. My mother didn't need it, and neither did we. So how do we save this? Can you take a no claims bonus off a policy that's almost run for a year and put it onto another one that's been running for 6 months? Yes you can. As I found out, and I was wondering what to do with cancel the policy that been on the Volvo, first road, then the Volvo, and then put the Volvo onto the old Mercedes policy, keep no claims bonus, but lose probably all the money, because it's now October and the policy was taken out in April, so I'll probably lose all of it. But when I came to have a look of just cancelling the Mercedes policy, just ending it, cancelling the Sanion policy, and taking both the no claims bonuses to a new company, adding a car on a policy which Volvo was on, and putting both no claims bonuses onto the new policy, it was only £115, as opposed to £605 for Tivoli for another year's cover, and sort of £525, I think, for the Mercedes. Now, bear in mind that's only half a year. That's only about 6 months, something like that. So actually, it's close to £250. But £250 versus what they were trying to charge me, over £1,000 for those two cars, is ridiculous. So it's maybe a question that no one's ever pondered before. Maybe I'm the only one who's done this, where you have a no claims bonus on a car that you then sell. You want to put that no claims bonus on a car that hasn't got it on its policy. You can actually do it. At least with the company that I'm now with for both the cars. The classic insurance, by the way, which we had on the gold Volvo, the 460, is now on the Rover 216 when we actually pick that up, which will be very soon, because the exhaust has actually arrived for that car. It's actually arrived, and Mr. Coleman is going to fit it for me. So we will actually have to first of all MOT it, get some tyres and MOT it. Once the exhaust is fitted, there might be some other ancillary bits Mr. Coleman's got to do, but principally that's it. New exhaust, new tyres, MOT, pick it up, tax it, and the insurance is there, then we can use it. So that's on a classic policy. It's not the same at all as the sort of conventional policy we have for this Volvo and the Sanyong. But yeah, we saved an enormous amount of money. Even if you think about it as like, you know, paying up to sort of April or whatever, for the whole year it would be, rather than just April, it's about £250 as opposed to in excess of £1,000 that we've actually paid. It's madness how they just expect you to pay whatever's arrived. And maybe some of you can tell me why insurance has gone up so much in the past year. I have been told previously, but I've forgotten. But I think what we were being asked to pay for those two policies, as opposed to a solution we've come up with, and preserving two no claims bonuses as well, I think is amazing, really. And it just goes to prove you have a little lateral thinking, and you know, you just kind of think, well, obviously I've got, you know, multi-card discount on this as well, like I had with the last one. That probably helps, but it's not necessarily the case that you have to get totally ripped off by your insurance company, which just seems to be what we want to do. For, you know, being safe drivers, both of us, which is what we've been for many years, and I hope we will continue to be. Anyway, thank you so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'd like to leave a comment below, and we shall see you again for more surprisingly sensible consumer advice.